Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 20 of our B-Sides Let's Play of The Letter. When we last left off with Mr. Ashboy, we had a little spat with Zachary and Rebecca, our two friends that we'd sort of reunited with, and things went south, but then we met back up at the bar and had some nice bar chats with both of them. And we are now about to head on our way to the mansion for Ash's sort of final mission here. And we'll see how this goes this time around. Here we go. Galway Shaw's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight. With the lively music and chatter, slipping out mostly unseen becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough, I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxbourne night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of an impending rain. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, maybe even stronger than the one we've had this morning. An instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material close to my body while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. 4 hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. One more than Zach desired me to have. 3 if I'm inclined to go by the real Z-Man set, but when have I ever listened to my friend? Regardless of how generous that is, each second's just as important as the next. With a brief detour needed, I can't waste time dallying here. If this is all connected, I need that damn piece of paper with me, however ridiculous it all sounds. If I remember correctly, it's among the stuff Rebecca brought that first night at the hospital. I'll find out soon enough. I just hope Isabella's aunt hasn't read or disposed of it yet. That'll be a whole different problem. So I hurry, one footstep over the other, echoing as I make a beeline for my car. But as with every plan, problems crop up at the last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does, in the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car. I'm gonna guess Rebecca this time? Yes. I wonder if it is always the person that Ash is, like, almost in a romantic relationship with, or what the deal here is. Rebecca turns just as I near, the corners of her mouth twitching up in a wry smile. She offers no greeting, except for a slight tilt of her head. Even as my pace slows and I look at her with all the unvoiced questions in my eyes, she remains wordless, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up at the starless sky when I come up to stand beside her. Another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary, thick with something close to resignation. The breeze carries all of it away, while she hugs her arms closer to keep herself warm, which raises the question why she's out here. I wonder, what does she care about that's out here right now? The air is already heavy with the promise of rain. With clouds obscuring the view, there's really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. Still, she stands here as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That, or she's here for some other reason. Can't think of any. But before I can voice a single word, express a disapproval of any kind, she raises a halting hand at me, sharply cutting off the rest of my question.
I'm not here to stop you, wherever it is you're planning to go off tonight.
I know about the affair.
I won't be able to anyway. You look like you've already made up your mind.
Uh-oh, my cat's finally decided to come out. We'll see if she's... I don't usually let her stay here, because I know she likes to talk to me when I talk. Oh, yep, okay. Alright, hang on. We're pausing while I take my cat out of here. Come on, buddy. Here we go. And... Alright, folks, mission accomplished. Apologies for that interruption. Where were we, Becca? You look like you've already made up my... I look like I've already made up my mind, according to you.
Go back inside. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
I will, in a moment. I just want to stay out here a bit for some air, away from the noise inside. Everything's been so chaotic these days. This little break is nice. Even if it means standing in the middle of a parking lot, of all places.
The most romantic of places.
Getting out of this mess would definitely be better, but hey, you take what you can get, right?
It'll be over soon.
The confidence in my own words surprises even me. How do I know? Why am I so sure? When in truth, what I'm about to do is a last-ditch effort. If this fails, if I don't find anything, we're back to square one. It's the last lead I have. After this, we have nothing else to go off from. Regardless, it seems to amuse her, and her laughter soon sounds above the murmur of the distant traffic and the light draft sweeping around us.
How I wish. I'll be content as long as she stops showing up in my mind whenever I close my eyes.
I think that may take some time. The brain doesn't easily forget trauma.
I can try, but you know, it also did a lot to us.
Explain.
Tell me about it. The back of my head's still smarting from my fall last night.
Not that kind. I'm talking about us. As people.
We've never been closer.
I hate to admit it, but this whole deal with the ghost, with the curse, it also brought out an ugly side to us. To all of us.
I don't think to all of us. I think me and you, yes, Ash and Rebecca. Isabella and Zach, I'm not sure that there was really an ugly side there. It was pretty much all beautiful. And Marianne, Hannah, and Luke, I'll maybe vaguely agree. Hannah's an iffy one, though.
And it made me realize plenty of things about myself, about us.
Rebecca trails off. Suddenly a pensive expression spreads across her face. I've seen it countless of times before. And every time I see it on her, it's usually followed by a memory, a silly story, or even something embarrassing I've said from childhood. Unlike me, who would much rather forget, she remembers each of them so easily. And after a short bout of silence, when she smiles, I know this is one of those times again.
Do you remember that one time, back in secondary?
Which one? He did a lot of dumb things back then.
Is this gonna be about him being dressed as a girl again?
Well, I did, but you get the point.
Mandy.
I thought you still don't like her. Don't tell me you've kept in contact with her. Are you guys friends now or something?
I'm the only person who can be your friend, Rebecca.
Oh no. We do see each other sometimes. On the way to work or when I go out for lunch, but it's nothing like that.
We're definitely not in love.
We're not friends. Not in this lifetime. I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get along, but if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be friends, yeah? You stood up for me that day. And from then on, things have changed.
Okay, so Mandy was presumably Rebecca's, bully. She makes it sound like I'm some sort of a hero. Mandy was in the wrong, of course. I'll defend her. If no one's going to stand up for her, who else will? Chances are it would have escalated, and who knows? Maybe she would have stopped going to school or transferred. Any decent human being with an ounce of sense should know better. I acted because I know what I'm doing is what's right. It's as simple as that. Yet she smiles as if it's worth more than that. A fondness that goes beyond nostalgia.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, this time, I don't want this to go unsaid.
God, this is really difficult for me. I don't want this relationship to happen, but it's gonna be so heartbreaking if they're gonna make me, say yes or no to this.
You know, just in case something happens, Ash, I've always been in love with you.
She says it so plainly, holding my gaze in a voice too frank that her admission stuns me into silence, like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words will form, not even a single coherent thought, but the meaning of her words bear down on me. Nevertheless, she continues, desperate to express everything she has kept to herself all these years. This is what the fondness is. Why, for her, it weighs heavier than any feelings of nostalgia can carry.
Since that time in secondary, since I made that promise to never leave,
Oh my god.
I've always truly loved you.
Afterwards, there is a relief, a weight suddenly being lifted from her shoulders after so long. She closes her eyes and lets out a breath. This is good, though, because even if we're gonna say no, it's good that she is finally honest about this. It's gonna hurt, but it's ultimately best for everyone. When she looks back at me, though, there's nothing but hope in them. Eyes that are searching for an answer. Facing the sincerity behind her words, I find myself grasping, scrambling for the words. Because as much as this pains me to admit, I can't give her the same affection she's asking for me. Oh, do I not even make a choice? And also, is this about their relationship? Did a thing just happen? I think a thing just happened. Huh. Interesting. Okay. We might have spent so many years alongside each other. Hell, we practically grew up together. But that never automatically means I'll ever hold for her feelings that goes beyond the boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate her presence in my life. I'm more than glad that she has stuck with me even through the toughest moments, even when she finds me difficult or aggravating. I also need to look at their relationship. How high is it? Okay, so it's, I mean, it could be better. It was close, but we're not quite at the top, so that might have an effect on things too. However, it's really all there is to it. She's a close, important friend to me, but nothing more.
Rebecca,
I draw in a breath, ragged, unsure. Uncertain how and which words to put together so it will hurt her less, so the wounds they might leave won't be as deep or a scar. In the end, I can only utter an apology.
really sorry, Becca.
Yikes.
I'm glad, I'm happy you feel that
No,
way,
you're
but
not.
I can't.
Shut up, you liar. Yeah. Does this not voice the most important part of this? There's already someone that I'm in love with.
Someone else.
And she already knows who it is. It takes all my willpower to force myself to even look at her. For sure there will be hurt. Maybe she'll even be angry, and I don't hold it against her. But when our eyes meet again, a smile's on her face. Kinder than every single one I've seen from her so far. It's nice to see it on her. It suits her more than the glares or the frowns. At the same time, it only serves to baffle me.
It's alright. I already knew. Kind of.
I wonder... This is kind of dark. I wonder if Isabella is even, like, obviously Isabella's still alive, right? But in coma. If this relationship will never work out if Isabella is alive. And it would only work if Isabella dies. Or I wonder if it... No, I know for a fact, based on something I read, that this relationship can happen. Huh.
Yeah, but I should...
Don't beat yourself up over this. It's not your fault. I'm the one who should apologize. Since I suddenly sprung this up on you when you have other things to do.
You're so busy.
I just thought I should let you know, and now that you've given me an answer, I guess I can finally let this whole thing go, huh?
Oh, Becca.
One question, though.
Yeah?
Are you going to tell her when she wakes up?
Oh.
Tell what to who?
Come on, Ash, you freaking idiot. I pause, frowning. A brief moment of doubt while I try to figure out what she's talking about all of a sudden. What? When it finally sinks in, though, my bewilderment hastily gives way to utter embarrassment.
Oh, shit.
Heat abruptly crawls up my face, no matter my efforts to keep it down. In the end, I can only look away from her, afraid of what else she'll see in it.
Did you really think no one would notice?
Was it that obvious?
It was surprisingly easy to tell. But that was probably because I've known you longer than anyone.
Fuck, who else knows?
I think Zach suspects.
Shit.
You're embarrassingly lame when you're trying too hard. It's almost painful to watch. Don't worry. With your terrible way of flirting and knowing her, I'm quite sure Belle has no idea, even now.
Even in the
Not
coma.
even a clue.
Even despite the coma, she still doesn't know.
Harsh, Rebecca. Really harsh. I could use a vote of confidence, you know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know you might be a little down the dumps right now, but come on, give me some support here. She laughs, loud, the kind that's free of any burden, ringing above the wind, slowly picking up as the storm clouds approach. With it, however, the awkward atmosphere lifts at last. There's only that camaraderie we've shared since meeting in that classroom 17 years ago.
I'm serious, though. Tell her, and if you ever make her cry, I'll hit you with every damn history book I have on my shelf. Clear?
Noted, ma'am.
Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I won't keep you long. I know you have things to do. Just promise me you'll be careful, all right?
She doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, she gives me a push, with a force only heavy enough to throw me off balance. Caught unawares by the gesture for a few moments, I fight for purchase against my car's trunk, bracing my hand on its smooth surface. When I look up, with a string of reprimands ready at the tip of my tongue, Rebecca's already halfway through the parking lot. Is it weird that her being happy about it, or not happy, but her not, like, being utterly devastated by it, is worse? Is, like, more sad? Oh. There's a small skip in her steps, while the breeze carries the light tune she's whistling. On a whim, I let its notes be the last thing I commit to memory before slipping inside my car and driving off. It sounds like a new beginning more than anything. Like, I think what they're trying to get here, and I agree that it is what should happen, is like, by being honest, she's sort of lifted the burden that's been placed on her for all these years, right? But the fact that it would come immediately, and there would be, like, no sadness, I guess in a lot of ways that came the moment that she heard him confess his love to Isabella. I guess that kind of makes sense. Another reason to be optimistic. The wind has already picked up upon my arrival at Ermengarde Hospital. Somewhere, the faint sound of thunder booms, filtering even through the concrete walls of the place. Though sparsely manned around this hour, the on-duty nurse's lively chatter easily fills the lobby. Some recognized and coaxed me into joining them when I passed by, but all of it has been turned down in favor of rushing straight to Isabella's room. Her aunt's nowhere to be found when I slip inside. On the bed, Isabella remains still, with the constant beeping of the machines as the only sign she still lives. Same as the other day, as well as the day before that, nothing has changed in her condition. And every single time I've stepped in this room, the sight of her weak and motionless still sends a painful pang in me. Despite what her doctors have been telling us, despite what happened during our last visit, I'd like to believe she'll still make it through. And when she wakes up, all of this will be over.
Hey, scaredy cat. Hang in there, alright? I'm going to fix this mess we're in. And once you're okay, you're buying a whole month's worth of ice cream.
That's a really weird thing for her to buy for you, but alright. My love. She won't be able to answer. Not yet. But I imagine her laughing at me right now, daring me to make good on that silly promise. And I will. Finding the letter among her belongings doesn't take long. 5 minutes later, I'm fishing it out from one of the side pockets of the bag Rebecca brought with her before, the second night after Isabella's confinement. To think, no one bothered to throw this away. Guess that's lucky. Snitching letter. What? I mean, look at this thing. I won't take it seriously if it isn't for all the fucked up shit that's been happening. This is the sort of stupid people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. Did people seriously make copies of this and pass them around to try and save themselves from a possible curse? And that's the inane logic that could be garnered from the fact that there are multiple victims. Was Isabella not saved because she had simply shown us this one instead of sending 5 different ones? What sort of selfish person would even endanger 5 other people just to save their own skin? What's more, what does this have to do with the mansion? There'll be time for answers later. I've wasted enough time here. Quickly, I stuff the letter into my pocket. With one last look at her prone form, I close the door behind me and head back to my car. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxbourne and heading straight for Ansem Village. Let's see. Okay. Got the letter. And are we now back to, yes, kind of, nearly. Alright. So, just to be sure, this isn't, yeah, okay, so not just yet. In the distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble, seconds later echoing long across the heavens. And with one last roar, the skies open in earnest. Here we are. November 1st. Alright, so we make it to the mansion. Or worse, Hannah Wright. What? What are we talking about? Okay. The crying. That's interesting. That must have to do with her being possessed. It's coming from the forest? Okay, so he falls into the sort of secret dungeon here, and we're probably going to run into Marianne again. Yep. We give her an energy bar, we free her.
Look, I know you'd rather see Luke Wright choke on his own wine glass, but...
Damn right I do!
Is she have a worse relationship with Luke this time? Yeah, oh, wait, no, this isn't her. Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad relationship with both of them, I suppose. Let's get our November 1st picture there. Okay.
And what about his wife?
What about his wife? It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me. Only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always... Okay, so she feels nothing about Hannah? Is that what we're supposed to get from that? Alright, so we get let out. We get freaked out by the mirror.
She warned you, didn't she? And you think you deserve to even answer her love?
Wow.
How dare you even confess your wretched feelings?
Oh, man.
You can't even save her. You can't even do anything for her.
Oh, see, this was a lot worse for this. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm more invested in this relationship.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this.
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
I don't know, I'm just broken mirror.
In the end, your own incompetence will eventually lead to the deaths of everyone you care about.
It laughs, sharp and piercing. Alright, let's take a look at her. I get mad when I have to see that be gone. Okay, so we get past that, we head up to the kitchen, we
can
tell
my friends what
Marianne.
might have happened here. They're at the crawl.
Okay, so this time this makes a little more sense. But we send Marianne off with the taser. Okay.
You know the place, right?
Trail off, letting the meaning of my words hang in the air. Yeah, she knows it. Okay, so then we head over to the mansion. We get freaked out by the haunted version of things. We head over to here. We get the vision of what I think
Tell me,
is where the letter was actually
what did you
written.
do with the madam?
Okay, it's interesting that this is different, because I thought he said basically the same thing last time. And obviously... So obviously last time, Hannah disappears, and then she appears at the top of the stairs, being sort of the hostage of Takako. This time, presumably, Takako has possessed Hannah, so that's probably going to be different. I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hannah, right? Oh,
Now
something
answer
happened.
my question. What did you do with the madam?
Maybe she's not... Maybe she's not gone, but instead... He's just wondering what... Like, because she's all weird, so he's wondering what happened. Hearing that voice, it's as if I've been doused with a bucket full of ice, cold water. Familiar. Too familiar. And more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. It's a different she this time. She should still be at the hospital. Safe. Wait, what? Yet, it seems a part of me still hangs on to a sliver of hope that she'll be here. So without sparing it some thorough thought, I snap my eyes open. Of course, there's no one.
Did you really think she'd be here?
Oh, that's so sad. They kind of got me. Except for the murmur of voices in my ears, whispering phrases as sharp as a blade, each one as scathing as the next. Words that, although I know my own friends won't ever utter, still digs a deep wound, seeping into me as if they're simply another truth.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
But repeat a lie often enough, and it becomes the truth, they say. And slowly, a part of me is starting to believe it. Damn it.
You are going to die.
Shut up.
I'm
surprised you're still awake.
Sorry, I thought that was my line. Another bout of pain erupts in my side, cutting off my words. A cry of agony bursts from my mouth. I can taste blood in my tongue as I heave, attempting to get in as much air despite the towel still coiled around my neck.
You bastard.
You're going to lose air quickly that way, Dummkopf. Better keep it shut.
Then he laughs, too cruel, too unforgiving. The way each note beats against my ears in spite of the warmth in them sends chills down my spine. This is a man whose hands have already been stained with blood before. He won't hesitate.
And you are going to die alone.
You can tell Zach enjoys that line more than anyone else. Panic surges within me. Out of some instinct and desire to survive, I ducked hard, pulling him forward with me and quickly reaching on my shoulder to grab at his arm. Oh, nice. Wow, okay. And throwing him over my shoulder with as much strength as I can muster. Glass is broken. Symbolic. Something whizzes against my ears. The towel on my neck loosens. My head is pounding. In a rush of air, he lands back first on the floor with a heavy slap. Before he can even recover and make a grab at me, I'm drawing back my arm and bringing my fist down on his face. Heck yes. There's a moment of silence. Fuck, I can barely keep my eyes open. But the next second, his grip on me loosens. He's out. And I collapse to the floor, dazed and gasping for air. Well, that's certainly different. Originally, I thought the thing was going to be that was Becca who had come to save us this time. But nope. From my peripheral, through the haze of blood rushing and sound slowly filtering back, the butler lay still, knocked unconscious by a man half his size and half breathing.
He'll be out for a while.
I have no idea whether I should laugh or cry at that. But it's done, and slowly every tense muscle in my body eases. A long, gradual process of the tension lifting. For countless seconds, I remained quiet, with only my short gasps and sighs to fill the silence, allowing the adrenaline to ebb away and my breathing to slow. Not a true repose by any means, simply a brief respite. But there's still the curse. I'm still inside the mansion in imminent danger. I still have no idea how to fix this. Outside, the rain seems to only intensify. Lightning flashes fleetingly somewhere, white and piercing, and the sky rumbles. No rest for the wicked. I stir minutes later, once recovered, having regained some semblance of sense and strength. Breathing still hurts, but it's bearable, as is moving. Although every small motion causes a wince, there will be bruising tomorrow. I can manage. Retrieving my gun from under the bed is easy, but only with some effort I'm able to drag an unconscious man to the far end of the room, snapping one end of a handcuff on his wrist while fastening the other on the bed frame. I'm curious, because, I mean, we've definitely heard this narration before. But is this different without Isabella? Looks like maybe. Following this line. Yeah, well, okay. We'll try skip. Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. That should keep him restrained for a few hours while I'm free to get the fuck out of here and do what I've come here for. This isn't to say I'm all better. I still feel shaky after what happened. Everything still hurts. But this is a significant improvement from my previous predicament. In that being dying. Without another look back, I close the room behind me, ignoring the whispers and desperate cries still ringing in my ears. Power still hasn't come back when I make my way downstairs. Tricky, considering the stairs to the attic are a bit old. One misstep and anyone might end up slipping and falling. You're lucky if that's all that'll happen to you.
The stairs this steep, a broken neck is a likely outcome.
With nothing to guide me through the darkness, I have to feel my way down. Carefully listening for each creak and noise, checking each step I land on before placing a foot on it. Right on cue, the same board I'm stepping on creaks and suddenly breaks, the pieces falling somewhere with a dull thunk.
Oh shit. Scumbag wouldn't be too happy about that. Ow, my foot.
Outside, the winds have intensified. Even from here, I can hear the gusts battering the window in the attic. It makes you wonder why up until now, the only person I've encountered from this house is the butler. Although to some degree that makes sense, he is in charge of running the place. Where are the other servants, though? In this storm, wouldn't anyone want to stay inside? A likely assumption is they're all asleep. The route I've taken doesn't really pass by the rooms they've likely assigned as the servants' quarters. However, they've also heightened security. I bursted off earlier, thinking they'll be posted a lot closer to where the master's rooms are, but the second floor is devoid of anyone as well. As if every inhabitant of this place has suddenly disappeared overnight. More importantly, where's that scumbag? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. The fact that I'm here, right in the fucking middle of it, makes me all the more queasy. And that feeling only escalates once I reach the landing and swing the door open. Only to be greeted by the kitchen. Pots, pans, and all. Okay, yep. There's confusion as I look wildly around the place, wordlessly taking in my surroundings with each turn and shift of my eyes. Apprehension slowly dawns on me like a bag of bricks. Wasn't that door supposed to open to a hallway? But the pressing matter right now is... In one corner, Zach and Rebecca watches, almost as surprised to see me. McCulloch's also with them, of course. She didn't listen to me, even if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although color and strength seem to have already returned her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part on that. Good news, I guess. As for the other two, however, relieved as I am that they've had the sense not to venture deeper into the mansion, I can't keep but roll my eyes at both of them. Can't help but roll my eyes at both of them, probably.
Zach, I said 4 hours.
It's only been like 15 minutes.
I know, but Rebecca asked and... Come on, bro. You know I ain't a very good liar. And you know how she is.
You know how she is.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
I can't.
I tried, all right? Even G. She was out the door before I could say anything.
Did you really think you could hide this from us?
I had to, Becca. And how did you guys even get in here?
Both of them exchange a look, one that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Rebecca who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
Someone was screaming, Ash. It led us here.
Oh, perfect. Without warning, the door behind me slammed shut.
We need to get out of here.
Screw right. I hate that guy. I need to get these people out of here. Luckily, we're in the kitchen. We have two ways out, the back door and the cellar offers. Since the hatch won't budge when I pull at it, neither does the back door, as if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Zach also gives it a few tries, but even with the big guy's strength, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck! In that same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. And we get to the horror section of the mansion. In every nook and cranny, over every surface and in every inch of the floor. This time, unlike the first one I've seen, it remains, and gradually the whole room begins to reek of that familiar metallic scent, sharp and suffocating. Busy day, November 1st. Around us, every object, including the cupboards, have started to rattle as well. The sounds from outside, foreboding, rumble of thunder, and even the howling winds have begun to fade away, replaced by whispers, shouts, and cries of pain. Though inaudible, each beat and note bombards every crevice in my head with vague images and sounds. There's no time to make sense of everything, however. I'm already shouting, fueled purely by adrenaline, barking orders and making a break for the door that leads to the next room, the dining. It should take us straight to the foyer, where the main door is.
Move! Run!
Come on, people! Right in front of us, the mansion has started to change, and we're in the thick of it. However, instead of the dining room like it's supposed to open to... Yeah, okay, so we can't skip this part. I know no one's really died yet in this playthrough, but, like, Isabella's, like, half dead. If you think about it, isn't that sort of messed up?
And you are going to die alone.
Do you hear how much Zach loves that? His voice in particular just rises above all the others.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know it's true, though.
Like, I wonder if it's just the nature of that voice, like the timbre of it, or if it's just the voice actor just really loving it. Zach helps McCulloch first, assisting her up through the gap before giving a hand to Rebecca. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for him to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
It's important that Ashby's the last one for this whole scene to work. Surprisingly, he does that without any protest. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. Okay, for all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Zach makes it to the other side, and I'm following after him. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it, climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains, though. Maybe it's the adrenaline still coursing through me, or how easy everything has been after living through that nightmare, fleeting as it is. But for some reason, something's still nagging at me. Call it a detective's instinct, or my training, or whatnot, I have a feeling something's going to happen and catch us unprepared. Unconsciously, before dropping down on the better side of this dream, my hand shifts to the gun at my hip. Instinct has never failed me before. Alright, so we made it in. And we've got old scumbag here threatening a different group of people this time. The handgun catches my eyes first, next to the smarmy smile on his face, while he holds McCulloch, Zach, and Rebecca at gunpoint. It's sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. I've been too complacent, too focused on other things that I've completely set aside the fact that scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those good intentions, curses and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is if he's aware that the whole of his household has somehow disappeared and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight. He already has, like, vague reason to shoot Zach, even if it's really, really bad reasons.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously. Why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about the photographer over there, then? You were the photographer, right? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
That's the same line that he uses for Isabella.
Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
I remember because it's pretty good. It's a pretty good line.
Please, what?
Rebecca's right, sir. Something ain't right here. We ain't here to harm you or anything. We're just here to help.
Not a good excuse, especially coming from you. Let's simplify it. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry. I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman.
Oh, thank God.
Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy.
No one's even come to your house this time, though.
This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he moves the handgun up them, as if it's just a mere toy and his words are no threat. The safety's off on his, nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture, I draw my own and level at him, finger on the trigger, and ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. Alright, so we've made it to the standoff. And this time, last time we begged him to listen, this time we're gonna disarm him. This should go well.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
I don't have time for your total BS. I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving and pulling on the trigger. 2 shots in quick... Jesus! 2 shots in quick succession echo across the whole foyer, and both hit their mark true. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls useless to the floor with a loud clank, followed by drops of blood from his bleeding wrist.
You insolent!
He's down in 2 successive steps when I tackle him on the floor, pinning him hard with my arm. Although before I can knock him out with a solid right hook, an agonized wail bursts through the tense air, loud enough to echo along the dark, empty halls of the mansion. Piercing enough for every occupant in the foyer to cover their ears and close their eyes. Then, all at once, there are images. However, there's no time to make sense of all of it. Amidst the discord and the noise, something whizzes past by, too close, too swift. A brief, keen blur that barely registers in my eyes, like an arrow quickly finding its mark and heading straight for... Oh. Time slows to a stop. In one moment of clarity, my body moves on its own, heart pounding hard against my ears, blood rushing through every vein, spurred only by adrenaline, a desperate bid to reach her crouched, unsuspecting form, and I don't even get to yell for her a second time. I don't even get to call her name.
Ash!
Yikes. An acute pain bursts through my chest in the next instant. All of a sudden, everything around me feels too sharp, every edge, every point. Even the act of drawing a deep breath alone stings and burns my lungs, while an intense ache slowly spreads throughout my whole body. Numb. I feel numb. A hand comes away, bleeding, shaking, while I can only let out a wet, ragged laugh. Soon, without warning, I'm going down on my knees and the whole world is pitching sideways. An arm, firm and stable, is on me the second I stumble back, catching my fall. She's always been like that, after all.
Ashton?
Her hands are shaking, her lips quivering while she looks at me with worry. Let's just take a quick... we gotta go take a look at the picture. That's not... Is that a sword? What the... Her hands are shaking, her lips quivering while she looks at me with worry. Tears have started to form at their corners, threatening to spill at any moment, and a pang of regret hits me at the sight of it.
This kind of feels like old times, doesn't it?
Ash, don't...
Sorry, Becca. Looks like this will be the last.
Looks like I won't be able to protect you anymore. Cautiously, despite the stabbing ache shooting up at every movement, I reach a trembling hand up to wipe the tears away. She's never the type to cry, after all. My arm never makes it far, however. Midway, she meets my hand, catching it in a tight grip, as if to still hold on to me. Not that she'll be able to. It's all slipping away. Just slowly. The pain is easing, everything's going cold.
Stay put, Ash. We'll get you to a hospital. Don't move, and stop talking. You're making it worse. Don't worry, you'll be fine. We'll get you help.
Rebecca, I need you to actually look at what's going on here and tell me that this looks like I'll make it okay. I'd like to agree with that. With her on that, reassure her. But I've gone through a lot, survived a lot of shit. It doesn't take a genius to figure out I'm done for. Whatever hit me, a hole to the chest is fatal enough. I don't think I'm gonna bounce back from this. I'm dying.
I'm sorry.
I should be afraid in this moment. Yet, I'm not. No fear. No dread. Just an acceptance. And a deep regret as she appears before us, her voice echoing throughout the foyer. Oh my gosh, you didn't need to do the sound effect! At the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands there, pale as death and expression eerily calm. I can't help but think there's something wrong. My gaze darts around, wary of her, but soon enough I realize what's wrong when she speaks. She is wrong.
I told you, didn't I? Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
Hannah?
Oh, Luke, darling, my love.
What do you think you're doing out here this late?
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. Here, there's only a whispered sigh, a fading breath, and a lone heart that beats hard one last time. She's got one thing wrong, though. I did not die alone. Well, at least I unlocked a memory fragment. What is going on here? Some sort of court thing? I mean, the fact that this is either her being freed, and I'm putting the heavy quotations on that as a slave, or this is like, you're a witch and you need to be hung, and this is her sentencing or something. That's my guess. But here we are, final chapter once again with the Lord of all douchebags. All right, well, that was certainly a bit of a different ending than we got last time. But I'm excited to finish things off here with Luke and see just how differently things end here in the epilogue before we get to work on the true ending. Until then, though, this has been Downstage Gaming. I've been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.